All right.
Just wipe that shit off. What is this? Well, this is technically number 7 since I did upload that short episode that we did. Actually, no, it's number 8 since that short episode was number 7. And then I did a solo, which was, it's so hard to do a solo podcast when your thoughts aren't organized. There's a lot of uhs.
Yeah, you realize there's a lot of dead space.
Yeah, so for my other podcast, I actually wrote out an outline, and it seems to fly off the tongue quicker, so.
Okay. All right.
What do you have to say about flying off the tongue?
Oh, man, dude, I love
Yeah, so I do actually have plenty of thoughts. And I know you didn't find any articles this week, probably.
No, I mean.
You might have remembered some shit you read. So what have you been up to?
Work, and then met the girlfriend's parents for the first time, and that was absolutely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I'm surprised they liked you. You might be lying to me.
That's
you guys broken up?
Right, done. Didn't work out. We're done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what she said, so I only have her word to go off of.
But what were you most nervous about?
Well, I knew that her parents were going to ask me a ton of questions about my life, my situation, everything like that. And I knew that my life, my situation isn't ideal to most people, especially graduated college. She has such a great trajectory with her life where it's like with me, it's like, I took a very untraditional approach to life. And
drop that like we did.
So it was very me on that. But like I wasn't going to lie to them. I was 100%
that's
open.
Ideal.
I was 100% open and honest with them, and it went. I felt, dude, I did not talk as much as I thought. I should have talked way more.
No, maybe keeping your thoughts to yourself is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Until you get to know them a little better. I've always been that way.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. When we first met, you didn't really talk a lot. You're just along for the ride.
Yeah, because fuck y'all. Y'all probably making fun of me.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, at first we were like, what the fuck is this kid's deal? Like, he's fucking weird.
Oh, shit. I just had some stuff repopulate on my reminders.
Oh, yeah, like Pornhub?
No, but I actually do have something about porn on here. It's popular, so. And I'm very... I've seen a lot of naked women on a screen in my day. Started out with the Maggies, like all of us 90s kids did. And then found some VHSs under...
Dad's bed, mom's bed.
All of them. You know what? I'm going to say this. The first video... Chicks with dicks. That was in the 90s when it was unpopular.
I don't even think it's still popular.
I don't know if it was called Chicks with Dicks, but I watched it. And
Chicks with dicks?
It was Sluts with Nuts, for sure.
Oh, man.
But now this shit's more mainstream, so.
I think it's widely accepted, more widely accepted. I mean,
yeah.
I guess I don't go on to...
This was in the South, too, so it was taboo.
I don't go into a porn channel and be like, I want to see some chicks with dicks.
Well, you should try it sometime, because you never know if you'll like it or not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's as mainstream, or... I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my niche for that type of thing.
Like, when you type in Pornhub.com and the search bar comes up, what do you go to? Or do you just go to, like, most recent? Because they have some good stuff on there.
They got some talent.
Yeah. I always change. I go through, like, a week of the same thing, and then I'll change it up.
Yeah, same.
You ever watch gay porn?
What? No. God.
Just checking. I don't know if that search query ever comes up, and you're like, yeah, let's try it.
Have you?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's disconcerting.
Oh, whatever.
No. Yeah, it changes. It varies a lot.
Just
So,
no gay stuff.
never had
Fucking asses. So
the
we're not editing this.
the girls that I've
You don't have to go too deep into that.
the very few times where I have done it, the other party has enjoyed it immensely. Yes.
No. You
It's
just
been
enjoy
mutual.
doing it.
It's been mutual.
It's been all you.
Maybe it's a power trip. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I get to do something I'm not supposed to do.
I always joke about wanting to do it, but I really have no interest.
Haven't you done it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be a real. I mean,
This
I'd
is,
say you can't be a real man, but mostly comes down to licking butt.
well,
And some rustling outside the door.
coming from the kid that tried to convince me to lick ass.
Yeah, well, you'll find that most people will agree with me that you can't be a real man until you lick some butt.
Well, then I'm never going to be a real man because that's never going to happen.
As long as you're okay with it.
And I have no desire to.
But you'll throw your dick in there anytime.
It ain't going to plunge itself.
I think it's just the wind out there. We get some high winds today.
60-mile-an-hour gusts.
Whatever.
No,
So we don't have to run the heater.
57 degrees. Wait, hold on. Let's see. 51 degrees. My apologies.
Ben's checking his Apple Watch. He's totally up on the technology.
I like tech, man. Makes your life easier sometimes.
I know. I always say Ben's the richest broke person I know. He's got all the new shit. But
It's true. I just know how to work things.
guess.
I just, yeah,
I like having a dumb watch. It's like a pager. So I can read text, but I can't, send anything back. So.
Yeah. Do they even make pagers anymore?
For
That are
drug
functioning.
dealers.
That are functioning.
I think the market's drug dealers.
No.
I bet
They
you.
have burner
I bet you
phones.
can get a pager. I mean, you can get a
But-
flip phone still.
But if you can get a pager, can you still connect it to a network so it can be
I'm
utilized
assuming
the same
because
that
it's
you could?
useless. I bet you can get a pager somehow. I bet there's a network out there that has time and
Maybe.
sells time to a third party that sells pagers or something.
Maybe.
Or you can just not pick up your phone and use that as a pager. I
Seriously.
think that's what a lot of successful people do, or they just send it to somebody else.
Man, I kind of want a pager. Call it
Sell some
good.
drugs.
No, just take some.
I think if you have a pager, you eventually start selling drugs because you're like, what the hell else is this thing good for?
But I mean, like, you can't reply, so you.
Well,
man,
no, because I think with a pager, you're people with pagers, their time was precious, so they would see you got a clientele that's like a lot of junkies. You're like, I'm not calling that motherfucker back.
Do you remember back in the day when you'd call a phone back in, 2006, 2005? You'd call a phone and you'd be like,
Yeah,
remember
just like leave a
exactly.
callback number.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah, I think they
directed.
still.
It was directed towards pagers specifically,
Oh.
and I want to say that they would translate it into the pager itself. I really don't know, but because it wasn't just that you were getting a call or you missed a call or something like that. Pagers were not about phone calls because you couldn't answer it and you
Yeah.
couldn't see a missed call. A pager was a LED screen,
Well, they're basically miscalled devices.
basically, but pagers had a little LED screen on them that would say,
Yeah.
a short snippet of text.
My
regarding
first phone was
something.
one of those. They look like calculator displays. That's the kind of display it had. It was a little flip phone from Motorola,
Okay.
and it had just the green background and the black letters. I missed that phone. I think it was dope.
My very
Had
first,
the little antenna you pull out.
heck yeah, my very first phone I got in 2006 was Motorola Razr.
Oh yeah, I had one of those too. I think I got one 2003, 2002. Because I had a job, so I just bought a cell phone. I had an AT&T Go phone. I got obsessed with trying to get like those polyphonic ringtones and shit. They're so bad. It's weird how like people used to be obsessed with ringtones and now we just all stick to the default ringtones on our phones.
or whatever, download ringtones.
Yeah, I
Like,
used to pay for those, like 99 cents.
Yeah, people.
That shit's
I wonder if
expensive.
people still do.
I think they're just much easier to get now. But
So-
most people with an iPhone just use the iPhone sound, so it sounds like whenever an iPhone goes off, everybody
Everyone
digs into their
looks-
pockets.
Yep, yep. I wonder if that's kind of like any type of like social engineering, in a sense.
Like Illuminati.
Yeah, like I wonder if there is.
I think it just came up with a dope tone, and people are like, "Oh yeah."
Or people are just too lazy now, or if people are just.
Obviously, I don't see it this way, but it's like
Go on.
it's like sort of a social hierarchy. If you have an iPhone, you're kind of better than people that have Androids. And if
It's like
people
a
hear, I'm not.
feather in your hat.
I about the Illuminati. You know how kids' songs get stuck in your head? I don't know if you know, but I know. Every time I go running, I'll sing Doc McStuffins or something. And I'm like, there's got to be a little bit of research into how to subliminally make a song that'll stick with your child. Because that shit sticks in my head.
Yeah, well,
And Sesame Street.
it is proven that continual marketing of.
Cigarettes.
No, not even that. So, for example, let's say you create a market and you have a great commercial that sticks with people. For example, the Verizon commercial is like, oh, can you hear me now? Great.
That guy works for Sprint now.
Yeah. But that marketing scheme has people to this day that have never seen that
Yeah.
commercial still understand what that is.
What about fucking
Or Jake
that
from
old bitch's name?
Jake from
Flo.
or Jake from State Farm.
You
People
ain't no Jake.
people
Oh, you should do that. Not that you work for State Farm or anything.
But people understand, like they see a symbol or just something clever, some clever marketing. It sticks with people for a long period of time. And research has shown that if you, obviously, like I just said, but then you reiterate it, like you do it again, like 5 years down the road, people still enjoy it.
Yeah, my daughter starts laughing when she hears the Doc McStuffins theme song. She gets super excited.
Jeez.
She's like about to have a heart attack. I'm
She'll
like,
start
goddamn
flopping around.
social engineers, man. And then I start singing it.
Yeah.
It
You
sticks.
started singing when you picked me up one day, and I was like, gosh, dude, just stop.
And no, that was a Henry Huggle Monster, I believe.
Oh, my
And you got to tell people, have a Henry Huggle Monster day. All those dads out there, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, if you want to ever ask me any fatherhood questions, feel free, because I think I'm a dope father.
You're a good father. You really are, man.
I suck. Daughter date, which is weird because she's almost a year old, but we don't take her out that much.
Did girls like look at you?
No,
You didn't
maybe
get
I don't
hit
know.
on?
I didn't really look at them,
You didn't
but
pay
I
attention?
looked pretty good. And I was like, "Yo, we're going out for a single daddy daughter date, Brittany." She's like, "Shut the fuck up."
And you're like, man,
Girls are easy.
but you know what's crazy? Like, so if you see a girl with a kid,
Yeah, guys are like, "Oh, that's a lot of baggage."
right? But then a girl sees, man, they are literally, girls see a guy with a kid, they're like, oh, he's responsible. It's like, bitch, I forgot to pull out.
This ain't my kid. I just picked this shit up at the orphanage.
Like, but it is an interesting mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, no, girls want that safety and that comfort, and I'm just generalizing here. I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Yeah,
but
no, I
I
don't
would
know.
assume that girls want someone who's going to stick around and be responsible, and guys just want to blow loads and get out.
Yeah, guys
general.
are young, dumb, full of cum.
Yeah.
That's what my dad always said.
I'm middle age. I don't know when middle age starts. I think it's 35.
I don't know, is it? Because I mean,
Maybe I'm still young. Young adult, like if you look at a young adult option on a drop-down menu, it's like 18 and 35.
so technically, if the average age of an American is 80 years old, wouldn't that mean
That's not
40s middle age?
That's not the average. You mean
The
average age?
Yeah, average
Average age just mean most people would be 80.
Sorry. The average life expectancy is 80.
Yeah, but that wouldn't necessarily mean. I don't fucking know.
let's see.
I skipped out on that mean mode median shit.
The average life expectancy in the U.S. is 78.69 years.
So look up the average age.
Okay. Average age in U.S. is going to be, 37.8 years.
Up to like 40 something.
Yeah. I could see that. I can get behind that.
So I'm still a young adult. Dope.
For now.
I feel like a young adult. Sometimes my shit, I was telling Brittany earlier, and I hate to keep talking about shits on this podcast, but why not?
Relieved.
Yeah. Well, I don't get that feeling anymore. I just feel like there's some left, but it's kind of sticking to the walls, and I can't get it out.
God, you gotta stop telling Brittany to stick that dildo so far up.
No, we don't mess with her butt.
Yours.
Oh, my butt. We don't mess with my butt that much.
That much? Jeez. Why did you have to say that much? Just say, oh,
Well, on
man.
average.
That's uncomfortable.
So that reminds me.
Fucking
Reminds me about porn. So it's pretty widely known, but we don't really grab onto it that much. How much porn? That's the wind. It's rustling shit up. Porn pushes progress.
insane.
It's pretty widely known, but porn, like when someone's like, "Hey, we should have virtual reality," and the other guy in the room is like, "Oh man, I can fuck a robot."
Dude, they have some weird things out there.
Japanese, man, they're pushing it.
Supposedly mimic and feel just like a human. I was watching something. This guy had this doll that was in a wheelchair.
I wonder how they do those comparisons in a study. Like
Right?
you bang a chick real quick, then you bang the doll. By a doll by age, like how the vagina feels by age.
Or the skin, or just anything.
Yeah, I'm sure you can customize the lips too.
And what is their subject group? Like, did they have 5 people tested?
Well,
Did they have 10,000?
in my mind, I just see a bunch of Japanese people doing these tests.
Just like in a row.
Yeah,
in a row. Just,
you know, it's weird. Like the Japanese are really into porn, but
they censor it.
Yeah, but they pixelate all the shit, all the good stuff.
They are. That's why.
I don't know. What to ask a Japanese.
Hey, anyone that's listening to this that is Japanese origin and can shed light on that, give
Tell
us
us
a call.
what it is about the censored fucking.
Yeah, because that is weird.
We should get a number. Like when we actually have an audience, we should get a number that people can call in, and I can just turn up the little Bluetooth on here real quick.
I would love that.
That'd be cool.
We'll do that. I can get another SIM card of mine. So.
Well, you don't really need that. You could just download an app that has like a.
Oh, VoIP.
Yeah.
A VoIP.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like line 2 that you can use, and all the calls and texts to that number will go to that app, and it works just like your regular phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But you have to have obviously Wi-Fi or internet. It runs on data.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, porn pushes progress. What other things have porn pushed? Probably VHS, DVDs. I'm assuming everything. Well, one thing it has pushed, and I think I talked about this on the solo, is our sexual promiscuity and the kind of shit we do in the bedroom. Like girls shaving. Like that was probably from porn.
Yeah, that never used to be a thing. Dude, back in...
I like a little landing strip.
Dude, the 10s or the 20s, 1910, 1920s, dude. That's when the people loved ankles. Because there's no other skin shown.
Oh yeah, you could put any girl in doggy style and you'll have a good day.
But I mean, it is an interesting thought that porn pushes progress, because...
Like, what about busting on faces? Like, do girls like that, or they just do it because they think guys like it?
So I think that there is a certain percentage of girls...
Of freaks.
Yeah, that may enjoy it. And I
Yeah.
think there's also a certain percentage of guys that enjoy it. But at the same time, I definitely think it's a power trip when you
Maybe,
do that.
yeah.
I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah, and I've never found the appeal in doing it.
Oh man.
Like I'm just like, what am I getting out of this? What are you getting out of this? And
I
I'm
don't
like,
think that much when I'm doing
and I'm
that.
and I'm like nothing. There's no benefit to. So if
Wow,
she's
you
not,
think a lot about this kind of stuff.
oh dude,
I just bust out.
dude, yeah, I get in my head. Like if I'm not having a good day, if I'm in a bad mood, I can't
Can't
be
bust?
yeah. I've had opportunities, dude, and just was
If they've asked and you haven't done it, you're not a people pleaser.
no. It wasn't like
Good for their skin.
It wasn't like they asked. It was just like, yeah, you can do that if you want. And I was like, okay, and I just never did. That was the conversation.
You haven't met the right freaks.
I've had many opportunities recently.
I can't believe you haven't done it. Get on that shit.
Nah,
Come
man.
back next time with a detailed analysis.
Just be like, oh,
Don't get too detailed because you tell me a lot of shit.
I'll just be like, oh, dude, I just ate ass and came all over this girl's face.
Yeah, at the same time.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, 69 style.
Oh, man. I mean, there's sometimes when I'm 69 and like my nose goes in their butthole and I'm like,
You ever get a little whiff or you close that off?
I do my best. I don't really know. I'm just kind of in the moment.
Let's see what she does.
I might have to.
You might kill the mood.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Cool. I like killing the mood.
I've definitely fallen
But getting
asleep
back into it.
doing something sexual before, and that was
Probably drunk, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only time it happens.
It was pretty.
It's a game.
Well,
It's like who wins, my sleep or my bust?
So,
And
I've definitely taken NyQuil before.
oh,
And
that's
then
a game.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I was like, "Hey, we beat the NyQuil! High five!" And then I
Yeah.
passed out.
Yeah, and the best thing after you bust after banging some questionable chick is going to sleep, trying to forget it all.
I am thankful that I've only had a few encounters that I'm just like, that fucking happened.
Do you ever have a girl leave before you do? Leave.
No. And had a hotel room, met this girl at the bar. She came over, some things happened, and I was drunk and I passed out. I woke up, she was nowhere to be found.
Damn, that's a real dude move.
I haven't talked to her since.
That's cool.
I mean, we didn't even have sex. Like,
Oh well, I'm talking about. I put a little graphic in there. To describe it, Ben just did a dick sucking move. I haven't gotten into that yet.
gagging, I feel bad though, because I'm like, you can't breathe.
I think that's the point.
Like at the same time, I think that's a power trip. Like you're in control.
I wonder if these girls have to sign waivers when they get into gagging roles.
Oh my gosh!
God, I hope
So,
this is recording.
have you heard when girls when they go into porn, they actually do sign a waiver like, hey, you can do all this to my body. And then have you ever seen it's a documentary called Life After Porn?
No, I've always wanted to watch that, and I'm like, I really want to get into that.
No, but it's interesting because they necessarily want to do the things that they did. They just wanted the money, but also sometimes there were times
Hey, baby, you got to put in a little work.
where they didn't know what they were signing up for. They had no idea.
But let me ask you, do you think these girls kept doing it after they signed up?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, fuck.
Oh,
If
100%.
then they knew what they signed up for after like the first few times.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Gagged.
like, hey, I'm going to sign this waiver, and you can almost kill me by gagging me to death, and it's okay. Like, I wonder if in the waiver it says accidental death.
Yeah, maybe. I'm
Because-
sure they have to cover that.
Well,
I mean, you're in insurance. Would you
their
underwrite a
liability.
policy for that?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Because like if you got an STD, if you got something like that, there's
there's a lot
too many variables. You could cover like errors in omission, but you wouldn't Well, I mean, I'm sure that there are some insurance companies that are higher risk that would cover it, but you're going to be paying a high premium every single month because they know it's going to happen.
Porn insurance. I'll look into that. But one thing this is a kind of a tangent on that. Why is porn legal and prostitution isn't? Because you're paying a girl to fuck a guy.
So did you know, like, I
already have thought about this, huh?
I think you're the one that actually told me this, to be honest with you. This was years ago, and we were talking about prostitution. And you're like, yeah, as long as you videotape it, it's illegal because then it's porn. Right. Because, yeah, I mean, as long as you videotape it, it is also technically
having
legal.
Sex is it's not. That's so crazy to me. I'm not going to go out and get a hooker. I'm just saying, like, this is so weird. It's the oldest profession and it's illegal.
That's a fair point.
It's so weird.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things in this life. You can get anything you want in this life with money, period. End of story.
But a lot of it's illegal.
Yeah.
If you get caught.
But the crazy thing is, it's the prostitutes that get in trouble, not necessarily the person paying for it.
Yeah, the old Johnny boys, they dip out. They're like, dude, get out of here. We're going to arrest this bitch.
Right? It's like the girls get in trouble versus the guys, and it's like both
of them
are
really
equally a part of it.
Grinds my gears is when they do stings, because that's like clear entrapment.
Yeah.
And that's illegal.
But they get away with it.
It's so weird. Well, so I read something on they used to do the sting car, the bait car show. Yep. And maybe they still do it. But a lot of times when you're in that, if you get a lawyer, they'll throw that case out right away because it is entrapment.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Most people, if they get caught doing something in a sting like that, they probably don't have the money to fucking. Dude, I was in a public bathroom the other day, right?
Oh boy.
And I don't know what this dude was doing. Well, I do know what he was doing. Right next to me. There's one guy on the side of him, and I was on the other side of him. I was in the handicap stall. I always feel weird going to the handicap stalls because I'm like, damn, what if a Crip comes in here? And he's like, dude, shit on my seat. And they're taller, which annoys me because I like to sit down low when I'm pooping.
You're a squatter.
Yeah. But this dude, I kept hearing this sound. And I'm like, I have to get out of here real quick or the guy next to him is going to think it's me. So I pushed and got out, and I was like, dude, you can't hear that little smack noise that you're doing?
Just walked out and just be like, get it, high five, and then just walked out.
I felt like banging on the stall. I was like, dude, save it till we get out of here. We're doing your truck. You know, a lot of these guys, they, especially the foreign guys, do a team driving. So one of them will drive while the other one sleeps. And so when they want to smack it, they're probably going to go in the public bathroom. I just do it while the other guy's driving because you can't really hear anything. You can be on all fours spanking it to some porn and the other guy's not going to look back. But you do have to share the same bed, even though there's two bunks in those trucks. When the truck's moving legally, the person who's sleeping has to be in the bottom bunk because you don't want to get fucking tossed all around in the top bunk.
Yeah.
And the bottom bunk has like a safety net that you're supposed to use.
Yeah.
The top bunk doesn't have those. Also, I would just never team drive again. I think Brittany's going to say she can't see us. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ding. Fries are done. What's up? That's a concerning face.
The portobellos, she cut them on the cutting board and then she cut something else for Nola on that. She's like, she's not gonna trip, right? I was like, just turn the fucking cutting board over. Out some, but it's probably fine anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
It's fine. There's no moisture.
Yeah, that's true.
And she put a paper towel down.
Yeah.
She's kind of a crazy mom sometimes, which is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm a little more laid back and She reels me in, I reel her out.
Yeah, it's a good balance. It's a good balance. It's kind of like with my girl and stuff, like Hannah. She's very literal, and whenever I say, yeah, I went on a 100-mile bike ride, she'll just call me out. She'll be like, really? Was it 100 miles? And I'm just like, pretty sure. I was like, I wasn't counting it, but it was about 100
If you're going to do
miles.
100 miles on a bike, you're going to count that shit. First time I did it.
I was 17, 18. I didn't count.
Yeah,
I didn't count.
How long did it take you?
8 hours.
Off the top of your head.
8 hours. It was 8 or 9 hours. Started at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Didn't get back till about 8, 9 o'clock that night. But we stopped for lunch and had other things. So it was about a solid 8 hours of riding.
I would say you didn't, because you didn't take it down, because that is a marker. That's called a century. In biking communities.
Well, I wasn't a biker then, dude.
Well,
we just went on a trip.
We should have logged them miles, bro. When you could brag.
We went on a trip.
Because I've done plenty of those, and it's fucking hard.
I logged 500 miles in a week biking when I was 15, but that was the first like long trek I ever did, and I just didn't really care. With a group of friends, and we just went for it, and it was a lot of fun, man.
Where'd you go?
Centennial Trail. So we started in downtown Spokane. And we went to Coeur d'Alene, then we went past Coeur d'Alene as far as we could. And then I remember that we got lost. And then we went back to Coeur d'Alene, got some food. We were there for like maybe an hour and a half swimming. And then we came back. And when we came back, though, we went up a little north. And we definitely didn't have any hills to come down or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from here to Coeur d'Alene is already 30, 40 miles from the trip that we did. So one way is 40, and then we did a lot of extra stuff. So it was 80 miles and then whatever extra. That's why I just say it was probably like 100 miles. I don't know 100%. I know it was at least 80.
Yeah.
But that's all that I know.
Well, also, I did my 100 miles on a relatively flat trail in about 8 or 9 hours. So
yeah.
So
yeah,
it's hard. So hard. First time I did 250, that was rough.
How long did it take you? A day?
It took me 17 hours, I think.
Nonstop?
Basically, I stopped for lunch, but that was it.
Dang.
It was nonstop on a fixie, baby.
Damn, dude, fucking fixies. I love them. First time I ever rode one was Alexandria, Louisiana with you, man. We got a picture on that on Facebook, and that was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that whole adventure in Alexandria, Slidell, Gonzales. So vividly. And we went into this bar.
Oh, yeah, we parked pretty far away from the bar, right?
Yeah. And we walked to this bar because we couldn't find any parking. We walked to this bar, and I remember we walked in, and we were like in sweatshirts, sweatpants, because we were like driving. We just didn't give a shit. Like, we weren't dressed in any way to impress. And we walked in, and every single person had a plaid shirt on. Like, all the guys had plaid shirts on, long, like, blonde hair. Like, everyone looked the freaking same. And then there was this one girl dressed as Wonder Woman.
You have a better memory than I do.
And
I just remember that bar being crazy.
Yeah, and then, like, they had
not having any options.
Yeah, they didn't. It was crap. I don't even think we got a drink there, man. And then, like, they had a local artist that everyone was, like, raving about. And we're just sitting there, like, I don't know this guy. Like, yeah, he's good, but I don't know him. Like, I'm just here to grab a drink, man, and just go about our day. And then that Wonder Woman girl, like, came up to us, and, like, we were dancing and whatnot. Yeah, then we left, and I don't... Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't then. I don't remember where we slept that night.
In the truck.
Was it in the truck?
Probably. I remember sleeping in a Walmart.
Yeah, in the bed of the truck. That was in NOLA, though. That was our first night in NOLA. We slept in the bed of the truck in a Walmart parking lot near the loading docks.
I don't remember anything.
I remember that because I was like, crap, dude, this is not the best area, and everyone can see us because the bed was sticking up so high in your truck. I was like, crap.
Yeah.
I don't think we slept in your truck. I remember we got that motel in Slidell.
Yeah.
And we slept there, and then we stayed a night at your sister's in Gonzales.
Mm-hmm. She still has that recurve bow I gave her.
Does she?
And then she was like, I can't get rid of that one, but I have other bows now too. She's like, I'm teaching my son how to shoot.
Dude, that's awesome. Good for
And
her.
then she has the axe out of my truck that I gave her. I had an axe in there. And I was like, damn, you got all the fucking
Did she get your
middle-aged
truck?
home defense weapons.
Did she
No.
get? Okay.
No, the truck's gone.
Damn. Whoever got that truck got a lot.
I wish I
of
had the
days.
VIN number because I could look it up where it went. I'm sure it went to a junkyard or something.
Did you have insurance on it?
I canceled it.
But you had insurance at one point in time. What year was What year was the truck?
2001.
I can find it. I can find the VIN. Because I can if I pull your consumer reports, I can see all of your car
Yeah, but you need my
histories.
permission to pull consumer reports, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not giving you that.
It's a soft hit.
No, fuck that.
Fuck you.
I want you to see my shit. See, I'm drowning in debt. Just kidding.
No, you can't see that. The only thing that with insurance companies, the only thing that we can see.
Don't they
is-
check your credit?
No.
Really?
Well,
They did.
I mean, they do, but it's like a soft credit inquiry, and it only goes for like loss history on like if you've had any accidents and things of that nature, and it gives you a snippet of this thing that I don't know. It doesn't like it checks your credit, but it's not like a tip in the past what your coverage limits were, if you've been in any accidents at all, and that's really.
I got one or two of those. My first accident ever was I was driving in bumper to bumper traffic, and it was a time where I had like 3 jobs, so I was falling asleep going 5 miles an hour, and I rear-ended a Cadillac going about 5, and they claimed so much damage on that thing.
Did they?
Yeah, because the LED light got damaged.
That's unfortunate.
This was back when LEDs were popping.
Now they're just the norm.
It was like LEDs on it.
Yeah, what's yours?
My Sup-
2009?
2010.
Yeah.
Our Subaru still doesn't have LEDs. They still use regular incandescents.
Halogen?
Same thing. Even the brand new Subarus still use incandescents. You can tell when the turn signal's on. They don't blink. They fade in and out.
Interesting. Okay.
But
Oh my gosh, dude. Speaking of cars, have you seen what they're doing with the new Hummer?
no, I didn't know people still bought Hummers.
So Hummer decided that they are no longer making gas-powered Hummers. They're going to all be. And the new Hummer that they're creating is going to have 1,000 horsepower.
I wonder what the conversion is because they usually use kilowatts for electric.
Well, you can use kilowatts for horsepower too. Like if you go down to Australia, you'll have a car that pulls 230 kilowatts at the wheels, which means about 350 horsepower. So it's just the metric system. So 1,000 horsepower probably be
No, 'cause
around
they use-
700 kilowatts.
They still, I think the metric, they still use some kind of different versus kilowatts. I forget. I don't fucking know. I know they use a weird foot pound. Like England's weird because they use feet, but they also use the metric system, and they use miles, but they use kilometers an hour.
Have you heard about
Weirdos.
completely side tangent? Apologize. Your car for all phones and small mobile devices like iPads and stuff like that.
What do you mean charging brick?
So the brick that you plug into the wall, they
Okay.
all have to be the same. And I only glazed over the article, and there wasn't a lot of information since it was so new, and they don't have a system in place yet to know what that charging brick is going to look like or what it's going to be. So I don't know if it's still going to be like a USB-C plug-in, USB plug-in. I don't know, but every single charging brick has to have the standard. Now,
I feel like they're way too much into people's business.
well, the reason behind it was for waste, because they were saying that on average over 10 years, someone is like they have 8 billion or million tons of waste, 32.8 billion or million tons of waste just coming from Europe, and that's just all electronic waste. And so they're trying to curb that. You're saying, hey, we don't want that standard because if you change that standard, it's going to create a lot of waste at the very beginning because everyone's going to have to throw away And that was another argument that Apple made as well. They're like, hey, like we want to be innovative as well.
Yeah.
But it specifies the charging brick. So like not the lightning cable, like not what goes into the phone. But
Just like the dimensions?
no,
Fuck.
I
should have read
they haven't set it up yet.
Oh.
They don't know if it's going to be about
Well,
dimensions.
then they haven't passed a law yet.
Well, they pass it and they're working on
But they don't
how
know
to make it standardized. So like it is in effect, but they're working on the
Maybe they
background.
do laws weird, but when you put out a law here, it has to be pretty clear.
I'm gonna look this up.
But speaking of that, that doesn't affect the UK anymore because I just glazed over an article too. They're officially exited from the EU.
Are they?
Yep. I wonder how that's going to be. Doesn't bother me that much. Doesn't do much for me. I would like to go there one day though.
The regulation of eco-design covers external power supplies with an output power of a maximum of 250 watts, which are intended to work with electrical and electronic household and office equipment. From April 2020, regulation blah blah will be placed. So
they got to figure it out by April.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, they just were talking about it, and they're like, I don't know what this looks like. I don't know how this is going to work out, but they passed a law that they're going to create a standardized charging. They're talking about wireless chargers. Like the standard right now is the Qualcomm wireless charger. How much? So you're going to have that charging brick and then a standard for the charging, wireless charging as well. So I don't know how that's going to look like, or if previous things will still be able to be utilized. I don't know. Everything is super fresh, and who knows what the outcome is going to be.
I feel like they're just first.
Makes up everything that it wouldn't make sense for Apple to continually sell a product in the US at the same manufacturing facility, change that manufacturing facility to create two separate products for the charging brick. It makes more sense for them to cancel out what they're currently doing and create one charging brick across the board in in their manufacturing facility to save on costs. So it is going to affect the U.S. whether we want it or not from a cost standpoint.
It might, but you got to think of like comparable industry standards. Like the EU has totally different standards from the U.S. for cars, and literally they have different processes for making cars, and they also have different factories and shit. But like you're not allowed to import a cargo van or a pickup truck into the U.S. unless you pay a really high tax rate. It's called the chicken tax. It's been around forever. That's why when Mercedes started selling the Sprinter van here, they were sold under Dodge.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And the Ford Transit, which is now coming about, that's made in America. It has to be. And what they were doing, what the Transit was doing before, and I think they still do, is the Transit Connects, the smaller ones. They're like the car you drove for one of the pest control companies, the Dodge.
Yeah,
just like
that. Dodge Transit.
So
that thing was horrible. I couldn't adjust the seats at all.
Well, the Ford is a Transit, but
this one was Dodge. Oh no, this was. Oh.
It was a different brand name.
Yeah,
model name.
Similar like.
But yeah, so what they do is they ship the car over here as a passenger van. That avoids the tax. And then when it gets here, they strip out everything and send all that stuff back to the manufacturing facility. 5%.
Damn.
That's really high to add on to a sticker price. Those vans are already like 30 grand brand new.
40 grand depending, yeah.
25% on that. Yeah.
Damn.
You know, one thing that people talk about a lot is how the Dutch, they're so green because they bike everywhere and everybody rides a bike.
Okay.
You know what? To buy a car. So if you buy a car for 30 grand, you're paying 90 grand for that 30 grand car.
Yeah, I'd ride a bike too.
That's why everybody bikes over there, because like it just can't fucking explain.
So, okay, so carrots were purple and orange. Like you can have purple carrots, you can have orange carrots, but since the Dutch flag is purple, farmers started cutting. And this happened back, I want to say 1838. Not 100% accurate on that. It was like 1800s. But yeah, I mean, and now today's day and age, you can still find purple carrots. Like they don't care as much anymore. But the reason that carrots and the reason that it was their flag.
I wonder why they didn't want it the color of the flag.
No, the orange was the color of their flag.
Oh.
And that's why they did orange carrot.
Right? Gala banana. You can't buy different types of bananas like you can apples, right? Isn't that crazy?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Washington State just developed a new apple that people are turning to.
What's that?
The Red Delicious. I don't
Sounds
know.
like- Have you seen apple vines? Dude,
No.
so
Illegal migrants that Washington State can support the apple industry.
Wenatchee, Yakima. So when I was working in Everett, Seattle area, I came into someone's backyard and I saw this tree. You know, the base of the tree must have been maybe 10 inches in diameter. It went up, and then the branches sprawled out over 20 feet, and they're all on this vine. And I was like, this is really weird because there's apples growing from these vines. I'm like, what the heck is this? But people actually do that. They grow out. And you can grow as many apples.
Oh, okay.
Like it's way more. I was going to say cost effective, but I don't know how much time and effort you have to put base than a typical apple tree.
Yeah.
And I don't know the percentages, but I do know with apple trees, this is like the craziest thing. So you can have two different types of apple trees and splice them together.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the flavors come from.
Well, no.
Is constant splicing.
But half of that apple tree will be Granny Smith's. Half the apple tree
Oh,
will
you're
be
talking
Red
about,
Delicious.
okay, well that's
Like,
weird.
Two different complete apples on one tree.
Because I know just making different flavors of apples just comes out of busting into the seeds of different apples.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I watched this documentary on this guy. He was trying to this guy that makes pepper X, other pepper plant and all this other stuff, and it's really interesting. And
I
that's
feel like those guys are just sexually frustrated, so they're busting other things.
you just got to take this seed out, put it here.
Put a little nut in it.
But it is interesting, like the splicing and everything like that, because I don't know if you think about one can't mate with a polar bear, it doesn't work. But you can take two completely different plants and have them mate and cross pollinate, and it makes sense. But you can't have animals cross each other that we
Chinese.
know that we know of.
Yeah, it's weird.
But there was a Chinese guy. He got arrested and he's serving time right now. I don't know if you've ever heard of CRISPR. Two kids. And it wasn't to make them smarter, it wasn't anything like that. It was so that they would never get HIV. Yeah, it was in China.
I thought that was super not illegal in China.
Right? No, he got in a lot of trouble because he did human trials without consent.
God, I think that's illegal in China, but I don't know. They make up their own laws as they go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their system is pretty authoritarian.
Well, dude, I mean, I remember back in the day where you could only have one kid.
Oh yeah.
Like that wasn't even that long ago. That was like 15 years ago, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Like that was in
I
our
think it was more
lifetime.
recent than that.
It was in our freaking lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you had a girl, you just throw that shit to the wolves and try again.
You had to.
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't have to, but
yeah,
people wanted boys because they'll be more successful.
But I mean,
in that system,
could you imagine living in that system where you're like, crap, I have a daughter. Like this.
You
sucks.
see, I don't know how to imagine it since I grew up in America where we're pretty free. If I grew up in there, maybe it would seem normal.
But everyone had to hide their kids, or you have kids that are alive today that are successful or have these stories where like I had to stay in a closet when people came over and stuff like that. And the government, because your family didn't want you to be taken away.
Right.
Like growing up, I mean, there's so many people that have had that story that I would love to be a fly on the wall with them and have a conversation. Like to understand that mindset, it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
America's had some pretty weird authoritative policies in its past. We're more free now than ever. We used to be, I can't think of any specifics, but I have heard on like podcasts that we used to be, like take the World War II, you had to go into service. That would not fly these days.
Yeah, true.
They could not pull off a mandatory conscription these days.
Yeah,
I can't think of
Uncle
draft.
Sam.
Draft. That's the word.
They couldn't pull off Uncle Sam anymore.
No, they couldn't do it. I don't think they could unless they pointed a gun at you. Then Americans just take their guns out and point them. Weird, and a lot of people contract with the government, so.
And so, like, I don't really want to touch on this too much, but this is a good segue. So politics and stuff like that has never really been my cup of tea. Growing up, was never really interested in them, never really. And I was like, damn, you are 100% correct. She was stating how everyone, and whoever's listening, this isn't, this is just my opinion, and this is just what I've read and what I've researched. Whatever your opinion is, I could care less. Everyone has their own opinion. But for example, everyone's sitting here, or a lot of people are sitting here saying, oh, I love Trump. I love Trump. He's done so many great things. Our dollar's so much stronger and all this other stuff. But when you look at history shows you that when you are president, the changes that you make don't affect the economy until you're out of office. So all the changes that have been made and all the effects that we're seeing right now in Trump's presidency is quite literally because of Obama. And don't get me wrong, like I don't vote. I'm not a political person, but if you look at history shows you that after presidency, it's about 4 or 6 years after that where all those changes affect the economy, affect everything. So Trump is riding off the backbone of a lot of people, and everyone's like, oh, he's made our dollar stronger. He's done this and this. Some stuff, but also it's the effects of previous presidents leading into it.
I would say there is some effects. So one of the big literally sentiment of people participating in the stock market, how they feel that day. Trump got into office. That increased the Dow. That was very much because of Trump getting into office. But that doesn't mean that could be a bubble. That doesn't mean anything concrete. So sentiment is huge, and presidents cause people to either worry about their money or want to spend it.
Yeah. So speaking about at a standstill or going down because no one's traveling, and traveling has an effect on stocks and trade and everything. But you look at Clorox stock, it's going up.
People drinking bleach to try to get rid of the virus?
No, people are just buying more Clorox because they're so paranoid about getting it that it's gone up.
I don't know anything about it. Does bleach affect it?
I don't fucking know.
Bleach kills everything.
Bleach kills everything.
If you do drink bleach and you
Alcohol kills bacteria, right?
Well, yeah, but it won't kill AIDS because that's not. Basically, the reason you drink bleach and it kills a virus is because it kills you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll kill bacteria, but cancer is just some shit.
Yeah, I know someone that drank bleach.
Yeah?
Yep.
You knew someone or know someone?
I know someone.
Oh, man.
Family member.
They must have not drank that much then.
Oh, they drink a lot. They were in the ICU for, she was in the ICU for a week, and then she spent the next 2 months in the hospital.
They pumped that stomach out?
They pumped the stomach, but she had almost, luckily it wasn't irreversible, but the bleach burned all the esophagus, insides, and everything like that. Longer, it would have been a lot worse. She drank it, and then she started puking up blood and everything like that. Luckily, someone found her, or she went to someone, and then all that went down. But yeah, not cool. Not cool.
Do you work out?
Do I work out?
Yeah. You don't look like. I'm just kidding.
I used to work out a lot, man. I used to work out religiously every single day, and I loved it. And now,
do you? So back in high school, I was crazy into working out, right?
Same.
And I've always wanted to get that fire back, but I just don't have an interest in it that much anymore. I'm not really like a gym rat like I used to be, and I think the thing that would get me more active is having a more active lifestyle. Like, if my job was literally digging ditches with my hands, there would be no reason to go to the gym. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to think of a way where I can be more active instead of having to go to the gym. So I bought like shoes that I can run doing my job with, but I sit down a lot, so that kind of fucks me.
It was a good effort, though.
Yeah, well, when I get out to unload shit, I do it fast to the point where I almost drop pallets of chips off the trailer. That would be good.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
people just get crumbs.
Yeah, I got a pretty active lifestyle. I mean,
But like one of the things that I always thought about, especially when I was a personal trainer, was instead of people going, like making separate time for the gym, why not? A lot of people over there were office workers, which kind of sucks. But at the time I was thinking, how can my lifestyle be more active? And one of my best jobs was bike messenger. There was no reason to ever go to the gym.
Yeah.
And have any extra calories for that.
Yeah. And
I was drinking pizza.
Yeah, man. And when I was younger, I never went to the gym because every single day when I got home, snowboarding or wakeboarding, depending on the season, I was always active.
Dude, these days it's the struggle bus trying to keep that weight off. Like I just go without eating a lot of times.
Dang, dude. Yeah, see, it's not with me. I mean,
you got to get them 4 cheeseburgers then,
dude.
At least
Hannah will sit there and be like, Jesus.
And see, I never understood why you got 4 single cheeseburgers instead of 2 doubles. That way you wouldn't have the extra bread, but you'd have the extra meat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
You still get the same amount of patties though.
16
cents. Want.
16 cents cheaper. Yeah, and I was more worried about the protein than I was worried about like the carbs. I really wasn't. I've never really been. I don't really. The only thing I've ever counted is calories and sugar and protein. Those are the 3 things that I've ever counted because if I have a lot of sugar, my body looks like crap. If I have a lot of protein, looks great. Calories is just to base on, hey, I was this active today. Okay, cool. I had enough calories in my body. I'm not going to lose weight. I'm either going to gain weight or it's going to be moot point.
But you're leaving the best one, fat, out of that equation.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what has always worked for my body is just not a lot of sugar. As long as I don't have a lot of sugar, I'm great. And stuff like I get that asshole.
I don't know. I'm starting to draw my convictions back. I'm trying to think more into like what would I die on a hill for, and since everybody's body's different, I'm like I probably don't know much about nutrition anyway.
Yeah,
I'm always thinking about like because Brittany and I got into kind of an argument the other day about beliefs, and she believes in a lot of stuff that I don't believe. But I was questioning her in a way that sounded
Argumentative.
to their truths, and
You're
like
curious.
and avoid like objective truths or like popular truths. And I'm trying to think about, okay, would I die on a hill for this? Be out there to argue it, and so I shouldn't argue as much. I should just listen to people more.
Accept. And yeah, that's fair. And we were talking, I was like, do you believe in aliens? Right? And she's like, what? She's like, no. She's like, there might be an organism out there that, we don't quite understand or something like that. But in the traditional sense, not aliens. Then she asked me, everyone's going to have a different view on
About 1 million of
things.
those bitches come across the border every day.
So, but with that being said, is everyone has a different point of view. And I'm always curious about.
Speaking of which, part of Trump's wall fell down recently.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
Into Mexico. Everybody just go, go, go.
Right? Oh my gosh. They found the longest tunnel system ever built recently.
A wall won't stop that.
Dude, and they had ventilation, they had lights, they had a track system, they had everything.
Submarines and shit. They don't need a wall.
It was like 5,000 feet long. It went into the U.S. Like they've been mapping it out, but there's a lot of the things that were blocked off. One was blocked off by I think it was like 400 or 600 pounds of sandbags, and it took them forever to clear it out because the thing was, I think they said it was like 4 feet tall by like 3 or 4 feet wide.
See a Mexican just run through that thing.
Dude, it was tiny, but they had a little cart that you laid down. You to where you needed to go.
Yeah, those people are smart, man. Them coyotes.
But dude, it's crazy like how much time and energy went into that. Like that's a significant portion of time to be able to okay, what's your ROI, your return on investment there? You spend 5 years digging that hole and you spend, let's say, $1 million doing that. And then at the end of it, okay, how much product or how much shit are you going to be able to get from that before they find it? Because inevitably they are going to find it. It's not about if they find it, it's when they're going to find it. So do you make that tunnel based on the assumption that they're never going to find it? Like, are you naive enough?
Dude, I bet they can get
that?
I bet they can get people to do it for free because at the end of the tunnel is America.
Oh, that's a
So
good
you
point.
don't have to pay them.
Carrot and stick.
But I'm sure one shipment to mill.
Oh, easy.
For especially cocaine or heroin. Yeah.
Man.
Just let that shit in.
Days.
Heroin's tough, but
well, getting a little chilly.
yeah. You want to turn the heater on
Yeah, kind of.
or put your that Russell jacket?
Yeah. It is
Well, let me
too loud.
pause this so we don't have any breaks in this. Let's see. Oh shit. Can I not pause it? Fuck.
But man, dude, the people, the things that people are willing to do for freedom or
Keep recording.
a new life, it's absolutely ridiculous. But also, like I get it though too. If you are, yeah, but I mean, if you're desperate, if you're in a bad situation, you want to be in a better situation. I completely understand that. And I'm the one that's getting cold, so, and I can't put my jacket on because if I put my jacket on, then you guys are going to hear all the rustling. So give us a second. Perfect. We were recording for like 2 hours. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy to be in that situation where your only choice is to grow into a drug cartel type of lifestyle or escape. Like, those are literally your only two options in life.
I don't know what the stats are, but I think a lot of people coming from Mexico are actually coming from other countries. They're coming from Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of them are from Central America.
But the reason's still the same.
Yeah, because their country is much worse than Mexico.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. Oh, so speaking of different countries, I wanted to touch on this when you were talking about cars.
Also, I want to go back to Mexico in a second because I got a news story that's
cool.
In Mexico.
So in Germany, with their car systems and stuff, that you have to be, it all has to be certified. You can only mod your car so much in Germany for the Autobahn. Like, it's ridiculous. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to put a giant turbo on. I'm going to do this and this and this. There's a system in place that regulates. If it's not certified, you can't register it. You can't drive it. Or you'll get a giant ticket.
I just hope they don't check under the hood. A lot of EU countries... Whoa. Oh, that noise gate just went off. It was weird. Just silenced it out. But a lot of countries and... A lot of European countries like that, there's a trash can underneath us. They have so many regulations that they don't actually need a reason to look into your life. Like in America, they need a reason to pull you over, even though they might not tell you right away.
Probable cause. Yeah.
They need probable cause. A lot of countries, they don't need that.
Did you know if you ride a motorcycle, they don't need probable cause to pull you over?
Really?
Yeah. If you're riding a motorcycle, they can pull you over for whatever fucking reason they want.
So probable cause comes from the Constitution, like unlawful search or seizure. So what would be the implied probable cause for riding a motorcycle?
Everything's on the outside. It's nothing inside. You have a little storage compartment in the bike itself. But
yeah, but you can walk around.
Yeah, I don't know. When I got my motorcycle license, that was back in 2008. So, dang, 12 years ago.
Well, for commercial vehicles, the probable cause is doing an inspection, so they can pull you over for that.
Yeah, for motorcycles, they can pull you over for any reason. I really haven't looked into it since I got my motorcycle license because it hasn't really affected me at all.
That's weird. I feel like you should still. If it's a personal vehicle, I feel like you should need some probable cause.
Well, at least in Washington State,
most of those bitches are speeding anyway. So
yeah,
because you can't go 40 on a rice rocket. You just feel like you're going so slow.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But yeah, you want to rip it. You want to rip it and dip it.
I mean, you can go pretty slow on a Harley because those bitches just lug, even though they're fucking high displacement engines.
Dude, you pay $30,000 for 100 horsepower, and it's like
100 horsepower on a bike is a lot.
Yeah, but $30,000, dude, you can get.
Well, my dad had a Harley, just a 650, and he only paid like $4 or $5 for it.
Older one.
Yeah, it was just a few years older, but those 650s don't sell for much, and it had plenty of power. You can cruise at highway speed easy.
Harley stock has plummeted like 50%.
Really?
Yeah. It has been going down because their sales are suffering dramatically.
Yeah, they need a way to get into the
EV market.
Well, the younger crowd. When you think of Harley, you think of old guys, and those fuckers are dying.
Yeah, true.
I actually heard a whole podcast on Harley versus Indian.
Oh yeah?
And it's called Business Wars. It's really good. It tracks just these two companies that came up around the same time. And Harley's like a 100-year-old company, and Indian too. And Indian was bought by somebody. They're starting to come back. They were out for a long time.
Yep, Indian has a comeback. They have you can get Indian motorcycles if you're heading east on I-90 from Spokane. It's between here and Liberty Lake, and you can buy Indian motorcycles there. So
pretty cool. I think they're doing the old school style too.
I hope so. Dude, I want a Norton so badly. Nortons are so sick. They look like Are
you more into the rockets or the
No,
cruisers?
old school like an early
because you're still like in a forward position on a cafe. But I like the Belleville. What the fuck is the company?
The Bonneville.
What's the company though? Fuck, I forget. Anyway, it's an upright seating position. Nice, they look classy. And they're really fucking cheap. Would you say that you're cynical?
No.
I would say that you're cynical.
Really?
Yeah, you always find excuses for why something wouldn't work.
Interesting. I try to look the most optimistic side of things.
Well, so let's say someone's like, "Oh, the world's going to shit." What's your reaction to that?
Fucking orgy, man. I don't know.
I think that'd be kind of cynical to think. But no, a lot of people are really cynical about the world because they see all these news stories and they just get a bad feeling that the world's going to shit, even though we're better than we've ever been.
Well, doomsday clock got moved the closest it's ever been.
I wonder what the
since
calculations for a doomsday clock is.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's I think it said 100 seconds within midnight, and midnight is doomsday.
Is that tied to religion at all?
I don't know much about the doomsday.
Because you remember when those motherfuckers were talking about Y2K?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if that was religion based. That was just computers.
Yeah, that was
computer based. That was like, what's going to happen after it gets to 1999? Is it going to go to 2000 or back to 0?
Yeah, no one knew. No one knew.
It just went to 2000.
Yeah, like it was such a...
We survived Y2K.
It was such a big deal.
Oh, people made a huge deal out of it. And you think like somebody was going to... Some expert out there was going to be like, guys, we programmed this in. It's just going to keep going.
But no one knew.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the programmers probably could have known. They programmed it.
Yeah. And, like, why would you program a computer to end a date at some period of time? Like, looking back, it's like, it's just going to roll over.
I think it's just because they started in that millennia of the 1990s.
Gosh, Y2K was such a big thing.
Yeah.
People got, like, bomb shelters,
Well, what about...
They thought everything was going to
12-12-12. Or 12-21-12.
I didn't give any thought to that.
What was that called? The Mayan calendar thing. That's what it was.
Oh.
I feel like you would have been all about that.
No, I know what you're talking about. I want to say that was the Mayans' doomsday. No, Mayans' doomsday was...
Crap. It was the Mayan calendar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about the Mayan calendar. Let's see.
Apocalypse or something. I don't know why people put so much into that. It's just a calendar that ended.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Mayan calendar.
I always try to catch myself being cynical and trying to step back and get another viewpoint on how things really are. Things are pretty damn good.
Hell yeah. A seemingly benign number that defines everything from a dozen eggs and the hours of the day and night of Christmas, astronomical signs. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'm bringing up this news story I was reading.
It's crazy. I don't know about 12-12-12.
12-21-12, I believe it was.
They're not crushing, but they're beating San Fran, so that's good. That's good. Barely, though. Crap, dude. They got 4 minutes, and they're 1 point ahead.
I don't watch sports, so I can keep that. Fuck, I took this link down for odd news. Here we go. So, you know El Chapo is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his daughter started El Chapo beer. Drink like a Mexican kingpin. El Chapo beer launched by daughter. So I think I've actually seen this in stores. It's a craft beer made by Alejandrina Guzman, his daughter, and she named it after her dad. And what I thought about this article is even though these guys are tied to murder and crime and drugs, and people still put them on a pedestal, like what's his face, Escobar and Che Guevara. People put those people on a pedestal even though they would never condone anything they've ever done. What do you think that is? Is it some kind of like cool counterculture thing to drink an El Chapo beer?
I don't know.
If you could drink beer, would you drink it?
Yeah, I would.
You could, because it's only made of a malt, rice, and honey.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably could then.
As a lager. What are you doing?
Probably could.
But why do you have any thoughts about why people do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's for the clout. Doing it for the, hey, I did this.
No, I mean like idolize people like that.
So I think that people idolize people not because of maybe their success or the power of it, because people looked up to them, whether they were mass murderers or someone that held a country together and supported things that they believed in. I think they believed in the power, or like, hey, that power would be great, or they believed in the wealth. If you could do something evil, like extremely evil, like to your core evil, but you knew that the payout would be astronomical. Like if you knew that if you killed the most important person in the world, but you knew doing that, you could have anything you wanted in your entirety of your life, would you do
Probably
that?
not. I've thought of this before. I probably wouldn't do it. I don't mind my struggle.
But your family would be taken care of?
That's okay.
You would never...
Well, here's the thing. It's like people in worse situations where they want to get out of the struggle because they know they want to provide better for the family. Right now, my family, we know we're in the struggle, but we're okay with it because that's kind of... I've actually come to find that the struggle is, what makes life.
Okay.
And those pots of gold at the end of the rainbow are not answers.
But okay, so I'm not necessarily saying...
Would you kill the most important person in the world, Ben?
No, I don't think I could ever kill someone.
Yeah. Well, I could kill someone, if they wronged my daughter, but that's about it.
Yeah, I couldn't, man. It just rubs me the wrong way. But no,
rub them the wrong way.
No. So okay. So for example, I'm not talking about like, oh, you'd have riches and wealths, but you would have everything that you've ever desired and everything you've ever wanted. I'm not talking about wealth and fame and you never get in trouble. Like, could you do something deeply rooted evil to someone, or just something so evil, and you could completely get away with it, and the rest of your life would be exactly how you wanted it? Whether if you wanted the struggle or if you wanted success, doesn't matter. Would you be willing to do something so evil to get your life where you want it to be?
No.
Good. I was gonna say we couldn't be friends if you could. Nah, I'm just kidding. Maybe we
I
could.
think I have
We'll talk about it.
the foresight to know that something like that it comes with some hubris, and when you get everything you want, I know humans are never satisfied, and I think just the basic struggle I have and I'm not really struggling, I just think the basic struggle of like keeping a good job and a family and bills paid is enough to make me happy and feel like I'm accomplished.
Yeah, and I think that's good.
And there's, stuff like this, if it ever gets popular, I mean, that would be cool. It's unexpected, so...
Yeah, and we're just doing
we're putting
for fun.
A little bit of work into it.
Not really, man. I mean, we'd be sitting on the couch.
Just a tiny bit of work.
We'd be sitting on the couch right now just chit-chatting.
So, yeah, I mean, I think people that are more... maybe people that are more desperate would be willing to do something like that.
Do you think that they would think about repercussions, or they look at the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
I think people who understand that the struggle is life probably would think about the repercussions and would know that it's probably something I don't want to do. But people that are like that just want the pot of gold and want all that comes with it at lightning speed, they would probably be like, "Yeah, I'll kill a motherfucker."
Do you think? Sorry, apologize, guys. Do you think that as humans, that we can ever be satiated with our lives?
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't think we'll ever wish for more continuously? Strive for more?
I think most people, we're just built to always want more. But I have read a lot about, I don't want to get weird, but Buddhism.
I love Buddhism.
And Buddhism is basically understanding that you are going to get sick, you are going to die.
You can be happy, you can be in pain, you can be sad, but the choice is yours and yours alone.
Yeah, and
Buddhism is
I think
all about
real
acceptance.
enlightenment is talking about understanding all those things and still being content with life. Like you understand that desire for something better comes from the same place as desire to kill somebody. It all comes from the same place. And I think the big thing in Buddhism is getting rid of desires altogether.
Yeah.
Like even the desire to eat. That's why they do a lot of starvation.
Yeah.
A lot of begging for their food. In fact, if you become a monk, you have to beg for your food.
Interesting.
So a lot of that shit in Thailand.
So to be honest with
Although
you,
in Thailand, a lot of people if you are a criminal, you can choose to go to prison or become a monk.
really?
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's crazy.
You can always tell the criminals because they got tattoos and shit. Their shirts are off.
I've always, so when I was younger, I mean, crap, this may be like 7 years ago, I genuinely researched and was thinking about leaving everything behind and trying to be a monk because that appeals to me. You don't have, I don't know, just that's, I guess in a sense it's a sanctuary. Maybe it's a sanctuary that in a literal sense where you're going, or it's a sanctuary for your mind. But that kind of concept has always been beautiful to me and very attractive towards me. And still to this day, I've always wanted to be like, hey, I want to try out being a monk, see what it's like. But then
I don't think you can dabble though.
no, you can't.
You gotta go all in.
You have to 100%.
You gotta get rid of all your jackets.
You gotta get rid of all your personal belongings. You can't even have any, from my understanding, you can't have any beautifying products. So like no deodorant, no this, no that. So.
And most of your days are spent in silence meditating.
Yeah, which, to be honest,
and trying not to think.
And to be honest, I think that's what appeals to me the most. Not necessarily getting rid of all your belongings or leaving your life behind and starting a new life in the literal sense, but
it's getting rid of that chatter in your mind.
Yeah, getting rid of that everyday monotony that you go through and all the worries and all the stress that you have day in and day out. It's like what appeals to me is being able to slow down, take a deep breath, and not worry about the external factors of this world and focus on the now and the moment, enjoy the beauty of where you're at and enjoy the beauty that's around you. And I think it's hard to do in today's society. It's like,
yeah, a lot of people have chronic stress, and chronic stress is so unnatural.
It's so bad for you.
You know what's really good for you, though?
Sex.
It's acute stress. So acute stress, sex is kind of acute stress because you're like in the moment. There's a lot going on, but you're not thinking. You're just busting. So you know who Wim Hof is? The Iceman?
Yeah, Wim Hof breathing.
Yeah, so he likes to do things that put him in the moment, like diving into ice water. And when you dive into ice water, say you start your morning by just dumping ice water on you. You're going to wake up, first of all, you probably won't be thinking about what you got to do that day. You'll probably just be in the moment thinking, God damn, this is fucking cold. But you'll be active. You'll be sprightly. You'll probably be ready for the fucking day at that point.
You'll be in that moment.
Yeah. And that's the big thing is always trying to keep yourself in the moment. Even if you can't do it with your own mind, trying to find some external reason to put you in the moment. Like that's why a lot of people gravitate towards adrenaline rush type activities. A lot of base jumpers, they're always looking for that in the moment. And that's why they jump off of cliffs.
That makes sense.
People that do drugs.
Jump off cliffs.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't recommend smacking up some heroin and jumping off a cliff. You might forget your parachute.
Or know how to work it.
You might think you're flying.
Oh, dude, when I was 18, my dream was to buy a base jumping parachute and
that's
jump
one of
off
the things I'm always
building.
like, I hope they don't put discounts on those. You don't want to buy a discount parachute.
They're like $5,000, dude.
Discount parachute or a regular parachute?
Just use, and you got to know how to do it. And in order to get certified, or just shit, dude, just to be able to jump off a freaking building and know what the fuck you're doing, you have to do so many tandem dives. And
I was thinking about this
dives.
with a guy because he was a skydiver. I don't remember where I met him. I think at a bar somewhere. And he was explaining how it's so safe, and I was like, yeah, but you're jumping out of a fucking plane. Come on. He's like, yeah, but it's the safest thing you could ever do. I mean, it's so dangerous that they're obsessed with safety. And he was talking about the whole process. And I was like, you know, as an American, I'm free to do whatever I want. I'll jump out of a goddamn plane if I want to. And it's weird that there's a process. You have to be certified to jump out of a plane.
Yep.
But I feel like if you got the money, you could just jump out. It'll probably be illegal, but...
And not know what you're doing.
Yeah,
well, I mean, is it illegal, though?
I don't know.
I mean...
I don't know if that shit's regulated.
How do you regulate someone jumping out of an airplane?
I don't know. Regulate the flights.
No, I mean, you could have a flight, just be like, oh, I'm sightseeing.
I think it's probably illegal to jump out of a regular airplane.
But if it's your airplane, you own the airplane.
You're driving.
You bought a pilot. You rented a pilot. Rent a pilot. I don't freaking know, man.
I don't know. I really don't know the rules on that. I feel like you should be free as an American to jump out of a plane whenever you feel like it.
I mean, you are free to do whatever you want.
You might die because you don't know how. You don't know when to pull your parachute.
I guess you would have to sign a whole bunch of liabilities and like write a note. No, crap. You shouldn't have to do that. It's your doing.
Well, you know it's illegal to kill yourself, right? Suicide is illegal.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's really hard to convict people.
That's fucked up.
But I don't know if people can attempt suicide and then get into legal trouble for it.
Did you ever hear about Jeffrey Dahmer? So the serial killer, right?
I don't look into serial killers that much.
So he ate human body parts and stuff like that, right? And so when the cops arrested him, they found a whole bunch of body parts like in his freezer and his fridge and stuff. Right. And they're going through everything. They found like boobs, nuts, freaking legs, everything like that. And they're going through and they found
titlet mignon.
They found 7 testicles. And
just 7, huh?
And so they asked him, like, why is this an uneven number?
One guy was a uniballer.
And so he looks at him, he's like, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Okay.
It's a joke.
I heard a story.
It's a joke. It's a dad joke.
Did he really say that?
No, it's a dad joke. It's completely fake.
Well, this is something that's real. This was out of Germany, so you know it's real. Some guy who liked eating people actually put an ad out there on the internet.
I remember this.
And some guy was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling good about life, so you can eat me. And so the guy came over to his house. They were, chit-chat and everything. And I think the guy was still alive at one point, and he wanted to eat himself too. So they had a little bit of himself, and then eventually the guy died, and he ate him over time. And he signed, this guy was on point. He signed all these waivers and stuff. I don't know. He had some kind of legal standing because it's really hard to write out a legal document like that.
Did he get in trouble?
Oh, yeah. It's illegal to eat people. Even if someone agrees to it. There's no way to defend themselves, I guess. But yeah, you are not allowed to give yourself up as food for someone else. It's illegal.
But you're your own person. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, there's a point.
I mean, it's messed up.
Yeah. So. But at least the guy who got eaten, he didn't get into any trouble. Besides the obvious.
He didn't have to worry about the legal ramifications.
I paraphrased that whole article. I don't know exactly how it went. But the basics of it were there.
He got 8, and the other guy got in trouble, and the guy that got 8 signed a whole bunch of paperwork.
Yeah, and he was like surprised when the cops came. He's like, fuck, I did all the paperwork. Like, dude.
What fucking lawyer would sit there and be like, yeah, this
That's what I'm saying. He must have went to LegalZoom or something.
This paperwork is solid, man. You can eat this person.
Yeah.
You're not going to get in trouble.
I wonder if they had to have a notary be there to sign it.
Shit,
Are you sure you want to do this?
It's so awkward. So awkward.
Yeah. So,
oh, man, those clouds are coming in.
I can't see. Wish I had a window in here.
Oh, man, let's put a skylight in.
I feel like they would see that.
No, we should. No, that portobello mushroom hamburger that we had was delightful, man.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Do you know what cathartic means?
Yeah.
Explain the words that I use.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, this is very cathartic.
Yeah. So what does that mean to you?
So cathartic is like therapeutic in a sense.
Yeah, it's like doing something that frees you of kind of it's like an emotional freeing response. So I looked it up and I still don't know how to explain it. But I was thinking, like, I wanted to talk about this last time, being like candid and open and honest, and that's why I asked you that question about, do you want to talk about this certain thing?
Yeah.
It's like being candid, open, and honest on like a podcast that goes out to the world. Is that like, could that be a cathartic thing for somebody?
100%. Yeah, putting your heart and soul out into something,
And even your problems. Like, I've heard a lot of people talk about issues that they're open about on podcasts, like things that would embarrass a lot of people, like
yeah,
butt plugs.
Yeah, which you enjoy.
Yeah, people out there that don't enjoy them.
Yeah,
Liars.
But I mean, like, telling. Okay, I guess the best way.
Although,
so
Bertie's dad listens to this too, so sorry for my catharsis, bro.
Telling your truth is very therapeutic and very cathartic, and just being open and honest. I had a very hard time for a long time being open and honest with people, even just the closest people in my life. I would lie to them, make up stories to try to make myself seem better than my situation was, or I'd exaggerate or something like that. And over time, I realized I was losing friends, and people were just, it wasn't a good situation. I did a lot of self-reflection. I was like, gosh, why am I doing this? Like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And I was young at the time, and I
don't
freaking know, man. I was young and I was drinking too much, and I didn't know any better.
No, I think it was similar when I was younger. I always wanted to project an image that wasn't there.
Right?
And then as I got older, I was like, well,
this is me.
What you see is what you get.
Yep.
And
once you accept yourself, it's way freeing.
Well, because I've seen a lot of people who they are. I don't do sign language.
I think your wife texted.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who I idolize. Brand says, come upstairs. Give us a bit. Who I idolize, like someone big would put on these glasses for this story. Although no one could see us. Hunter S. Thompson, who I very much enjoy reading, listening to.
Yeah.
He is very much unapologetically himself. He doesn't mind talking about his issues.
He's just him.
He just puts everything out in the open. And he doesn't really give a shit what people think. And I've always idolized people like that, and I've tried to do that a little more in my life.
I mean, would you ever do what he did with Jack Nicholson?
What did they do?
You're the one that told me the story.
Yeah, but I forget stuff.
Oh, man. So Jack Nicholson, from what I recall, is Jack Nicholson was coming over Hunter S. Thompson's house, and Hunter S. Thompson was blaring a pig getting eaten by a bear and, freaked out Nicholson and his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the whole thing. But
well, I just know that he
was crazy, man.
Yeah, he was fucking nuts. He would take mushrooms and he would always have his gun on him, and he'd just shoot shit randomly.
Damn.
And he would pull out guns in the middle of conversations with people. I remember one time I was reading a book of his, and he was high on acid or something, and he just started shooting shit, and his plumber was downstairs. Yeah.
Fucking plumber.
And the plumber just busted out of there. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And I think he was fixing something that was because of gunshots. So I'm like, what kind of fucking... He had a pretty tragic ending to his life, but I actually think he did it on his terms, which is weird.
Yeah, I could see that.
He shot himself in the fucking...
face.
In the dome.
Yeah,
but I think he did it on his terms, which is weird.
So, next...
He was like, I think this is it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Pah!
Pretty crazy.
He finally turned the gun around.
Yeah. Well, on that note...
You ready? Yeah, this is about an hour and a half. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, so next time, guys, we're going to talk about floating flamingos, and we're going to be talking about how to get your mom's pussy wet.
Yeah, well, we're going to keep talking for a second, because we got to fade in that music, bro.
Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, we'll do...
Just kidding about your mom's pussy.
We'll try... do another... This actually went pretty well. We'll try another one... next weekend.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to do another, the Spokane word probably tomorrow or something, or today.
That works. I got Super Bowl tomorrow, so I'll be busy with my